Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm sure with the title of this video, you already know what we are going to be talking about today. I'm going to be showing you how you can ace your social media management job interview and secure that job, okay? But before then, you know the vibes. Don't forget to give this video a like and also click the subscribe button, and let's get right into the video. One thing to secure a spot at a social media management interview, and it's another ball game entirely to actually pass that interview. And now I see so many people, they get interview spots and then they end up failing the questions, not being able to act well in an interview session, because I feel like in an interview you are actually acting. You have to put up an act. I'm not saying you are pretending, but you have to be very, very confident. You have to be audible. There are so many things that are involved during an interview process that you don't want to just fail. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how you can actually ace your social media management job interview. I'm going to be putting you through all the important questions that you're likely going to get asked in a social media management interview. The very first question you're going to get asked in a social media management job interview, or in any job interview for that matter, is, can you tell me about yourself? If I get $1 every time I'm asked that question, I'm going to be a billionaire in dollars. In all my social media management interviews that I've ever attended, I'm always being asked that question, and I'm going to be painting a scenario on how to answer and how not to answer that question in a job interview. My name is Adawari Ogeneruno. I am from Delta State, Warri to be precise. I attended KHMS primary school. I also attended Covenant University as well, where I studied international relations and and I also graduated with a second class, and now I'm actually a social media manager and I love what I do. And another thing I like doing, I also like I love swimming as well, and I love crocheting. So I think that's a really interesting fact about me. Thank you. Hello, my name is Adawari Ogeneruno. I'm a social media manager, over 3 years experience in social media management, and I've had the opportunity of working with a skincare industry, real estate, and also a consulting firm. My time at the consulting firm, I was responsible for managing all their social media platforms, including LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I was also responsible for putting out content strategy that will help me create content that will resonate and aligns with their target audience. I was also responsible for creating email marketing copies, by the way. I didn't mention that for our community. I was also responsible for scheduling posts, using scheduling to Hootsuite to schedule posts on all the platforms. And my time at the skincare industry was very exciting because that was the first time I was working with skincare, and I really love taking up new challenges. I was responsible for managing all their social media platforms, and because they were launching, I was also in charge of launching their campaigns. So I held different digital marketing campaigns on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. I was responsible for crafting out strategies that would help build our online audience just because we were just starting. And I was also responsible for creating content calendars using tools like Asana. I also made sure to use tools like Canva for creating graphics. I also used CapCut for creating amazing and engaging videos. I used the Meta Business Tool to track the analytics, and I also use Google Analytics to track the analytics on the website. So I think all in all, I've had a really great experience at my former industries that I've worked at. I learned a lot. I gained a lot from there, and yeah, that's just a little bit about me. Another important question that you will get asked in a social media management interview is, how do you handle negative feedbacks? That is very important because conflict is inevitable, whether you're a social media manager or not. Conflict is very inevitable. So you will be asked this question. For me, how I actually handle negative feedback is I just delete the comment. I feel like that's the best thing to do because no one will know that that comment ever existed. So I would just delete it and it's gone. If I come across any negative feedback or comment on a social media platform, what I would do is that I would want to know why the customer or the audience is saying what it is that they are saying. I would acknowledge their feedback. Maybe, for instance, they were asking, "Oh, I don't like this content," and I can just reply in the comments, "Apologies for any inconveniences. How can I assist you further? Do you have any suggestions or do you have any ideas?" Customers are always right. They love when their feedbacks are acknowledged. So if you have a negative comment like that, I feel like it's very important that I address and actually know what the customer is going through. The third very important questions you will get asked as a social media manager is, how you measure success in your social media campaigns. For me, how I actually measure them, I just look at the likes, I count the likes, count the comments, and just write it down in a piece of paper. And then when my manager needs it, I will just give it to them. That's how I measure it. Okay, so how do I measure success of a campaign? I think what I would do is there are so many metrics. We have impressions, we have reach, we have likes, we have comments, and all of that. So it depending on the metric that I actually want to track. Let's say, for example, I want to track brand awareness. I should be looking at metrics like impressions, reach, and all of that. That would also ensure me to know, oh, how far did my content reach? How many people clicked on it? How many people came across the content? And I will do this by checking my Meta Business Suits app. For example, if I want to see insights on Facebook or insights on Instagram, I will go straight to my Meta Business Suits app, or I will go to the insights section on Instagram and check this up. Now, this fourth question is very important because no employer wants to manage a liability as a social media manager. So they will ask you, can you describe any successful social media campaign that you have held? Okay, so for me, I actually just post regularly and then I hope for the best. I feel like my audience should comment a lot, they should respond a lot, then that is really successful. That's what I do. One successful campaign I have managed is for the real estate firm that I was working at. So we had a real estate store in 4 states in the USA. And then before that, I already came up with a pre-launch strategy, started asking people about properties they would love to invest in the US and so many other strategies. Now, that pre-launch campaign actually yielded so much engagement. In terms of our impressions, we had over 50,000 reach. And then for questions and then inquiries from our audience, we had over 10,000. A lot of people were asking because the pre-launch strategy was really powerful. For the fifth question, they will ask you, okay, you're a social media manager, so how do you keep up with social media trends? Okay, so what I do is that I just check TikTok every day. I check for the latest challenges, whether I'm online, I just check anytime I see them, then I just note them down that okay, I'm gonna jump on this challenge. So that's how I keep up with trends on as a social media manager. I stay updated with social media trends by the use of Google Alerts. So what I do is that any industry that I work at, I make sure to put out all those alerts. Anytime there's a new news, there's a new update. For example, I have my Google Alert turned on for Facebook, for Meta, for Instagram. So anytime there's a new update on Instagram, I get alerted through my email and then I check it out. And then I also read other blogs like HubSpot blogs to check for updates and trends. So that's how I stay updated as a social media manager. Another important question that you will get asked, this one, I don't think anybody can escape this question. What social media management tools do you use? If you give very funny answers, then this question will actually fail you because this is the easiest question that you get asked in a social media management interview. Okay, so I use Facebook and Instagram. I use Twitter as well. Those are the social media management tools that I actually use. I use a variety of social media management tools. For example, for my scheduling and content management, I make use of Hootsuite and also Buffer. And then for creative content, I make use of Canva and also CapCut for editing videos. And I also make use of Meta Business Suite for tracking my analytics and also Google Analytics as well. And then I also use Metricool for tracking all my social media apps and for managing them. I also make use of Asana for tax management and also for content calendars. Another important question that you can never escape in a social media management interview. So just make sure that you are ready for this question. What are your salary expectations? I will advise that before the interview, you already have it in mind what you are going to tell them your salary expectation is. Anything is fine, to be honest. I am really not sure what my salary expectations are, but I can want to hear from you first and I want to know what you have and then we would negotiate from there. So based on my research and also industry standards and then my experience and skills, I believe I'm open to da 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 to da 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 because I'm not about to tell you. You have to figure that out yourself. But I'm open for further discussions. Thank you. We have come to the end of the question and answers. And don't forget that these are not all the questions. Sometimes you get asked just 3 questions, sometimes you get asked just 4 questions. It depends on the interview and it also depends on the interview stages as well. Make sure that you also research other places for questions that you will likely get asked. But I promise you, all these questions I have listed here, you will definitely get asked 4 or 5 of these questions, or even 2 or even 3. And then after you are done getting asked all these questions, and the interviewer is like, okay, so do you have any questions for us? Make sure you have questions to ask them. Make sure you don't just say, oh, no, I don't have any questions. Nah, do not say that. if I were to be an ideal candidate for this job, what social media platforms will I be in charge of or will I handle? How often is content expected to be posted on each social media platform? Can you also describe the team that I will be working with? Maybe graphic designers, video editor. I'm not saying that you should ask them all these questions back to back, back. No, you can just say you want to ask them one important question. You don't have to bombard them with questions because don't forget, you are the one doing the interview. It's not the other way around, okay? And there you have it. These are some important questions that you'll get asked in the social media management interview. But remember, preparation and planning for the interview is very key. So don't say, oh, it's the morning of the interview that I want to quickly watch this YouTube video. No, let's say you have an interview 2 weeks ahead. You make sure that you are prepared for it at least 1 week ahead of that interview. One of my tricks that I use for interviews, I pray and I put my confidence in God. So that's one of the big tips that will help you if you are actually looking to get that job or ace that interview. So we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you actually came this far, then you want to give this video a big fat thumbs up. You also want to click the subscribe button and then you want to drop a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed this video and then I'll see you next time.